The code P0421 in your Mazda 3 refers to the readings of the second O2 sensor that's located after the catalytic converters in the exhaust system. This sensor measures the efficiency of the converters, and so the code is pretty scary, since any repairs in this emissions equipment may eventually be painfully expensive. But before you pay for nonsense converter cleaning services or converter replacement, there are several things you may want to check. The P0421 code will set in the ECU when the second O2 sensor is unhappy with the amount of oxygen in the exhaust. It means that the fuel mixture may be too rich or too lean, and it may not have a direct connection to the catalytic converter efficiency. Also, this sensor measures the difference in oxygen amount with the first O2 sensor that's located before the catalytic converters. So what I'm driving at is that you may want to check the air intake for any leaks, a broken or disconnected air pipe, a badly closed air filter box, or a clogged air filter may eventually be the culprits for the code. And they are super cheap to fix in comparison with the catalytic converter repairs. Also, the second thing I would look at is the health of the spark plugs. In a lot of countries, Mazda recommends changing spark plugs in Sky active engines at least once every 75k miles or 120k kilometers, but people usually forget about it. If spark plugs are weak, the combustion process will not be proper, and a lot of fuel will end up in the catalytic converters, heating them up to hell temperature. Of course, their efficiency will drop significantly, and you will see the check engine light and the P0421 code. I believe replacing the spark plugs is quite cheap and a good thing to do when you have this code. Besides, you can also switch to a premium fuel. It's 91 in the US or 98 in Europe or Australia. A higher octane number will help you make sure the combustion is efficient and the converters work at their best. Driving with this fuel for 30 or 40 miles may eventually help you clear the code P0421. If nothing helps, there is another thing to try. You need to get under the vehicle and have a proper look at the wiring of the second O2 sensor. It's not uncommon that after minor undercarriage damage, the wiring may be affected. Other than that, the problem may actually be with the O2 sensor and catalytic converters. What's really bad is that it's impossible to say what exactly is in charge of the code, so dealerships often replace everything in order to solve the problem for sure. The price of such repair for the Mazda 3 with 2 or even 3 converters depending on the model year is north of $2,500, $3,000, and non-OEM converters are much cheaper, but rarely worth it, since they last just 20-30k miles on average. Usually OEM converters in these cars last about 150,000 miles or 250,000 kilometers, and if the emission codes pop up at this mileage, you may be quite sure that the problem is with the faulty converters.